Welcome to Gordonsville High School for our 2018 Gordonsville High School football preview. Tom Duggin for DTC Sports alongside Coach Scott Clemons, first-year head coach here at Gordonsville. Coach, it's good to have you with us. And well, first few months on the job, let's talk about it a little bit. I know you've been a long-time assistant at Gordonsville over the years and a couple of other places, but talk about that transition, what it's been like these last few months stepping into that head coaching role.
Well, of course, I played football here and been coaching here for 20 plus years, so this place is like home. It really wasn't that big a deal. Things that we'd done in the past we're continuing to do. You know, we went to the weight room and got after each other and went through spring practice and went through our normal summer workout, so it's really not been a whole lot of change, you know.
Right. You know, Gordonsville football has been like a family over the years that I've covered it. I mean, this community really comes together. You got a great fan base, but Gordonsville football to me feels like family. And I know you've worked with a lot of coaches over here over the years. Talk about what some of those coaches have meant to this program and some things you have taken away from those coaches that you have adapted to your head coaching style.
Well, I've been blessed to work for some really good guys and work with some really good guys. You know, I came back here, Coach Stanley Wills was the head coach, and people that live in this area know who he is. He's been around Gordonsville for a long time. He's a good football coach. He's a hard-nosed guy. He believes in playing defense, and you know, you take some of those things away from him, and then right after him, Coach Dillard came in. Me and Coach Dillard are neighbors, and a wealth of knowledge there. I learned a whole lot from him during his time that he was here. Me and him was really good friends, and we talked a lot about football, just me and him, you know. So Coach Medley helped out different times during that process, and of course, you know Coach Medley's history, what he's about, what kind of character he is, and then Coach Marshall comes in, and I've had the privilege of working for him for the last 8 or 9 years, and you know, when you look at the philosophies that you have, you take it from the people that you work from,
right?
And those guys are all instrumental in making this football program what it is today, and we want to continue that.
Coach, let's get on the field for 2018. A lot of expectations for the Gordonsville Tigers, defending region champions, picked to win region again, 7-5 a year ago, a couple of rounds deep in the playoffs. An excellent senior class coming up this year. A lot of expectations. What do you see of this bunch this year, and what about those expectations being placed on this football team?
We've got a lot of kids that played a lot last year. I mean, you talked earlier about experience being a breast teacher, and a lot of those kids have had valuable time on the field. We got a 15-group senior class, and they've had a lot of experience, and I'm looking forward to getting out here and getting this thing going.
You got a lot of experience, especially in your skill positions on offense. Outstanding tailback, Mr. Football candidate Braxton Givens, over 2,200 yards last year. You got Bill Washer, leading receiver back. Of course, you got a change in quarterback this year. Goolsby won't be returning as he's transferred. You got Taylor Thaxton coming in. Talk about your skill positions and the experience that you do enjoy there on offense.
Well, it's always good to, you know, when you got a kid like Braxton back, he's carried the football a lot. He knows how to run with it. And, you know, Bill runs good routes. He catches the football. We've got some guys that played a little in spots last year. Levi Halliburton can run. Chris Wells can run. We've got some guys out there. Matthew Thompson's playing at tight end. He's done a good job. Swice Good, who you interviewed earlier, is playing our fullback or our three-back, what we call it. So those guys have had some experience, and we're excited, you know, to build this thing around Taylor, and he's got some pieces there to work with for sure.
I want to get back on Givens for just a minute, because I know this is a young man you've had a chance to watch grow and develop over his 4 years here at Gordonsville. Talk about that development a little bit, and with all the expectations being placed on him, what do you see in terms of how he's handling that this year?
Well, I mean, he hasn't changed since he's a freshman in high school, other than physically. You know, he goes about his business every day. He comes out here and practices hard, does what he needs to do. He understands maybe a little better now some concepts than he did then. You know, he played a lot, ended up starting when he was a freshman when I was still coaching. And maybe he didn't understand blocking schemes and picking up stunts and different stuff like that. But as he's grown, he understands that a little better, and he'll be a much better football player because of that.
Now, of course, on offense, it all starts with what's going on up front. Talk about your offensive line and talk about depth you may have there, or how are you feeling about that position?
Well, we've got some kids that played last year that are returning. We've got some size, and we've worked on our strength a little this winter in the weight room. We've got some good kids. We really feel like as they mature and get better, and I've coached the offensive line for a long time, that's a group that has to play as one. And when they come together, they could be pretty good, So we're excited about that. Now, we're not there yet, but we're coming out here every day and practicing and working and trying to get better. And we got to use these next 3 weeks wisely and get ready for that first game.
Some of the best teams I've seen in Gordonsville were very tough-minded defensively, very aggressive defensively, got it done on that side of the ball. Talk about your defense and the expectations and what you see of that unit this year.
Well, Coach Petty's going to be our defensive coordinator, and me and him are first cousins. We grew up together, and we talk football all the time, and he's got a good understanding about what he wants to do, and we've got some people there. So far in fall camp, we've really worked on being aggressive up front and making sure we're reading where we want to. We've added Coach Shaw as our secondary coach this year from Macon County, and we've been pleased with what he's doing back there in the back end. So I think right now our defense is probably a little ahead of our offense. The mentality of these kids, we're trying to get them to play a little more aggressive, and it seems to fit in pretty good.
You mentioned a couple of your coaches, and this seems to be also a tight-knit coaching staff. Talk about your staff this year. You mentioned some of the duties there, but expand on that just a little bit.
Well, other than Coach Shaw, all of our coaches played here, which I truly believe means something. I was talking to a guy yesterday, in a school at this size, it's a tribute to the community here, and those people want to come back and be a part of that because they came through it and it was a part of it too. And Coach Shaw married a girl from Gordonsville, so he's just like he's family. But they're an important group. We all know that. They do a good job as leaders for these kids and role models, and we are a tight group. We get along well. We joke around in the coach's office sometimes, but it's a good group. I really enjoy being around them.
The region this year, you're the defending region champion, of course. So the target's on your back. Gordonsville kind of surprised some folks, I think, last year in winning the region. Joe Burns is back. They're going to be tough this year. Clay County's got a lot coming back this year. Monterey's usually competitive. I know they've had some losses up there. Talk about the region and the expectations there and how tough it's going to be to repeat as region champions.
Well, Joe Burns is a football program a whole lot like Gordonsville. It's an area it's rich in tradition, and they play good football up there. They always have. Their coach has been there a long time, and he's got a lot of stability, and it's an important thing in that community to be in the football game on Friday night. So it means something to them. Clay County got a lot of good kids coming back, so they're going to be better this year. In Monterey, the last few years they've always been they're getting better and better every year, and our region's tough. I mean, it really is, and I'm glad they picked us to win, but it don't mean anything till it's over.
Absolutely. Coach, what do you think this team is capable of doing by the end of the season? What can this team accomplish on the field?
Well, and we've talked, and before we come out to practice a lot of days, we want to get better every day we go on the practice field. It's not where we start, but it's where we finish. And we ought to be a lot better football team in November than we are in August. So if we'll continue that mindset, it's kind of, you got to get in and then make something happen when you get there. Right. So we want to get better every day that we practice. We work at it every day, and we want to try to be the best football team we can tomorrow. And then as the year progresses, we ought to get better at what we're trying to do. So we're hoping the time playoffs come that we're a serious contender and we got a chance to make a run at it.
Last question here. When week one rolls around, Watertown comes calling. You know that's going to be a tough game. Your first game as the official head coach, first regular season game, what do you want to see from your team when you kick off week one against the Watertown Purple Tigers? We've
stressed a lot about earning some respect. We want people to respect when they come to Gordonsville, understand they're going to get hit and we're going to play hard. We won't do everything right week one, but this is one of those deals where we want to come out here and play as hard as we can. Effort takes care of a lot of mistakes. And Watertown's a big rivalry. We played Watertown for as long as I can remember. They got a great football team. Coach Webster does a wonderful job with them. So I expect the fans to come out. I expect the place to be packed, and it should be a great atmosphere.
Well, Coach, it always is at Gordonsville. Turney Ford Field is one of the most fun places you can be on a Friday night for football. Always a great crowd and a great atmosphere. Coach, best of luck to you and this Gordonsville team this year.
Thank you.
Coach Scott Clemons joining us as we preview the 2018 high school football season here at Gordonsville High School. Don't forget, you can see Gordonsville in action on DTC3 this year against Watertown, against Republic, against Smith County, and also later this season against Clay County. But be sure to come out and support the Tigers in person. For DTC Sports, I'm Tom Duggin.